Hi there everyone, and welcome to another very exciting and a very important chess game of Paul Morphy. And in this chess game, Paul Morphy's opponent is Amant. And Amant was assisted by a player named MFDB, and it's hard to pronounce his name. So maybe he was a Frenchman who was assisting Amant. And you know, Amant was one of the toughest players, and he was the leading player in the early 1840s, and he was the leading player of the world in the 1840s. So he was a very dominant and a very strong chess master for his time. And you see how Amant crushed and humiliated our Stanton. But is he going to do the same to Paul Morphy? So Amant has the advantage. He is playing with the white pieces, and he also has his friend who is helping him to crush Paul Morphy. Is he going to succeed? So this game was played in 1858 in Paris. So Amant starts the game with playing e4, e5 by Paul Morphy, knight to f3, knight to c6, bishop to c4, Italian opening, bishop to c5 by Paul Morphy, c3, knight to f6, d4, e takes on d4, c takes on d4, bishop to b4 by Paul Morphy, bishop to d2, bishop takes on d2, knight from b takes on d2, and also Amant and his friend is defending the pawn, d5, e takes on d5, knight takes on d5, and both players castled, h3, knight to f4, and king to h2 by Amant. Well, if something like knight to b3, let's say defending the pawn, then queen to f6, let's make a random move, then bishop takes on h3, if g takes on h3, then queen to g6, king to h2, if king to h2, then there is checkmate in one move. And if, let's say, blocking with the knight, then queen takes knight, and this is also losing for white. And maybe Amant and his friend thought deeply in this position, and they decided to play a passive move, king to h2, and then Paul Morphy captures the pawn, knight takes on d4, knight takes knight, queen takes on d4, and Paul Morphy is a pawn up, queen to c2, queen to d6, lining the queen with the king. Amant played king to h1, queen to h6, and Amant and his friend scared in this position, and they played queen to c3, more protection to the h-pawn. So maybe they scared because of Paul Morphy could sacrifice a piece and then attack the king relentlessly. Bishop to f5. Paul Morphy is not sacrificing anything, but he is planning a very deadly plan. So king to h2, more protection to the pawn with the king. Paul Morphy played rook from a to d8. Why Paul Morphy played this move? Well, Amant played rook from a to d1, and he is preparing to face with the rook. But Paul Morphy played a very beautiful move. He played the most accurate move, and Paul Morphy played bishop takes on h3. It happened, Paul Morphy sacrificed one of his pieces, and Amant captures the bishop, g takes on h3. What else? And now what? Paul Morphy sacrificed the piece, but now he can't capture the pawn because queen is defending the pawn. But Paul Morphy played an epic move, and after that move, it's all over for Amant and his friend. So can you guess the next move of Paul Morphy? What would you do in this position if you had the black pieces? Can you guess the most accurate and the strongest move in this position if I give you 5 seconds? Did you find the move? Well, Paul Morphy played rook to d3. What a beautiful move by Paul Morphy, blocking the queen and threatening checkmate. How to defend? Well, Amant desperately played queen takes on d3 and then knight takes on d3. Why? After rook to d3, if bishop takes rook, then queen takes on h3. King to g1, queen to g2, checkmate. That's why. After rook to d3, we have queen takes rook. What else? For not getting checkmated. And then Paul Morphy captures the queen, as you know. Bishop takes on d3. Paul Morphy played queen to d6. f4. Queen takes on d3. And after this move, Amant and his friend, the Frenchman, resigned. What a beautiful game by Paul Morphy. He crushed one of the most dominant players in the history of chess. So we can say that Paul Morphy is no Howard Stanton. Paul Morphy is winning the game at move 22. What an unbelievable game by Paul Morphy. So the possible continuation in this position, if knight to f3, then queen to e2, king to g3, queen takes on b2, and black has 3 extra pawns plus the queen. This is all over for white. So this is why after this position, Amant resigned. And what an interesting chess game. Paul Morphy faced one of the most dominant and the strongest players in the history of chess. But his dominance, Amant's dominance, was in the 1840s. This is 1858, a different era, and this era is the Paul Morphy's era. He was the best at that time. So I hope you have enjoyed watching this video, and I hope to see you next time. Take care and bye bye for now.